What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. Today we're going to be going over Jaxson Dart's rookie debut here in the preseason against the Buffalo Bills. The starting Buffalo Bills defense, by the way, at least for the first drive. And we're going to talk about how Jaxson Dart is off to a much better start than I even initially anticipated. I thought he played a fantastic game, and that is why he had the highest quarterback rating of any of the rookie quarterbacks so far. But before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, make sure to join in my ESPN Pick'em League if you guys are interested in that. Also, the membership. When I finally get the full film, because I don't have the full film yet for whatever reason, a lot of Giants content creators don't have the full film for whatever reason. We're gonna put Deonte Banks' film up. We're also gonna be talking about a lot of Marcus Bowe on there and a couple of other guys I want to throw in there as well for the membership. We're gonna be doing dedicated just like this, but for other players on the membership. So make sure you guys join in for that. But let's get on to Jaxson Dart. This is his first throw in the NFL. This is against Tre'Davious White. This is man coverage down here. Tre'Davious White and Zach Pascal over here. It's gonna be a quick RPO. He pulls it really quickly. Right? Pulls it really quickly, gets that throw out nicely. Again, I have a problem with that leg, right? We just slow it down a little bit. I got a problem with that leg kicking up like that. Well, it actually doesn't look bad there. We'll talk about it more. There's a point I want to make about it later on. But that's just a good throw. You know, RPO, the Giants are going to be doing a lot more RPOs. I mean, Brian Daboll likes to implement them, but Jaxson Dart comes from a very RPO-heavy offense, so we're probably going to see a lot of those when he's in. I thought Jaxson Dart did a really good job at identifying what the type of defense he's looking at and where to attack with the football. You can watch the bottom of your screen here. Greg Dulcich matched up on a linebacker in a cover 4. This is just a bad matchup for the play design, right? So play action, you're going to play action design to keep those linebackers at bay, right? You don't want them to get to their zones. You want to kind of suck them in a little bit. And when you're looking at a cover 4, right? When you're facing up against a cover 4, you've got your two corners here. They're going to bail. They're going to have a quarter of the field. Safety's going to have their own quarter of the field. It's up to these linebackers, literally just these linebackers, this one and this one here, to guard all of the flats here, right? So you're looking at a bad matchup with the route that Greg Dulcich is running because he's already at a bad spot. There's no corner here guarding the flat who's already there, where that out route is just not there. This linebacker, just beautiful. And look at the job that Jaxson Dart does as well, right? He doesn't automatically look at Greg Dulcich, even though that's where he knows he wants to go. After the play action, you can see the linebacker freeze a little bit right here. I'm going to slow it down. Right here, froze. Why? Jaxson Dart was not staring down his receiver. And Greg Dulcich is there for the catch. This is a good job identifying where he wants to go and firing it in there by Jaxson Dart. Now, this play didn't mean much from the stat sheet, but it could have meant a lot for the stat sheet for the defense. We got a pistol formation here. We go from a bunch look to the left to some pre-snap motion. And look at Jaxson Dart evading the sack and getting the ball out. Now, it was for no gain, right? There was nothing to be gained here. I think he ended up right. I think maybe he gained a yard. Greg Dulcich did. But this should have been a sack, probably a loss of a whole 7 yards maybe? Able to get that ball out, and you basically got a plus 7-yard play because of getting the ball out there to Greg Dulcich again. But you can tell that Jaxson Dart initially was looking for Montrell Washington because you can see, again, they were running rails on the boundary, right? So you got, I believe, I don't know, this is Christian Benford, I believe. He's going to bail in his rail. Whether it's cover 4, cover 3, doesn't matter. He still got the deep third of the field there. Montrell Washington is streaking open off that pre-snap motion. This is where he wants to go with the football. Pressure's coming in early. You get this emergency hot route here. Boom. Love this from Jaxson Dart. Even though it didn't mean much in the stat sheet, it still means much. It means a lot as far as evading pressure goes. That's just good play. Good play. What I love about Jaxson Dart's debut is that you didn't see a lot of mental mistakes. You didn't see a lot of him getting flustered out there, just like a lot of rookie quarterbacks do. And it's not anything to, really be critical about. It happens to the best of them. It's the most important position in the NFL. However, look how Jaxson Dart handles this pressure. Now, it is only a 4-man rush, but the pocket collapses so freaking quick. He steps up and fires it in there for Greg Dulcich again for a third straight target. It's off the mark. It's not that accurate. Greg Dulcich isn't able to come up with it, but he buys his offensive lineman a little bit more time. Again, does not take the sack, steps up in the pocket, and makes the throw. Would you have wanted this to be a little better of a just a little too I guess early. Maybe he should have fired in there more towards the middle, right? To look at it again, slow it down. Right? He's going through his look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. He's not staring down a receiver. Right? He's going through all his progressions, who's open, who's looking. Beautiful. Beautiful. He's doing all of that while he's stepping up in the pocket. All right? That shows a good amount of poise that a lot of rookie quarterbacks don't have. This is one of the plays I'm probably the most critical of. We're going to get into, I think, his last play I was also critical of as well. But this is a concept that the Giants run quite often. This is what's called the Yankee concept. So you're going to have a deep vertical route on one side, and on the other side, you're going to have a deep crossing route. And what you want to accomplish here, especially during man coverage or anything like that, zone coverage, even in zone, you want to try to get this boundary player away from the target area where you want to hit this crossing route, okay? This is designed for this guy to be a clear out. He's never going to be targeted usually on these plays. It's always this deep crosser, right? Because a lot of times in man coverage, they'll switch off, and that's exactly what you're going to see here. And there's a slight window where that wide receiver is going to be open, going to be not covered, and you have to fire it in. Jaxson Dart had a good amount of look at this pocket. The floodgates are open. Great pocket. He misses that window. He pump faked because he knows he missed that window, and now he has to take off. Now there are two mistakes that he made in this play. Okay, one. He missed the window. You should have thrown it right now. This is the only window to throw this ball. Fit it in right here. This cornerback isn't even paying attention to where the wide receiver is, and they're in the middle of a transition. This is cover one. Shout out to this defense for having good communication. This is cover one. He's going to switch with the safety, and then he's going to wind up taking the middle third, and then this safety who has the deep zone is going to cover this crossing route. Look at this communication here. Beautiful communication, excellently executed, and Jaxson Dart misses his window for the crossing route, and then that's when you just dump it off to your running back, Dante Miller, who does a lot of great job in the yak yardage department. Look at the closest defender is a good, over 10 yards out. He should have just dumped it off. Instead, he sees these floodgates open here. He elects to run it. He doesn't get much out of it. He barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that's just a bad play because you had two mistakes, two opportunities to move the ball down, and you missed them. That's probably the biggest criticism I have of Jaxson Dart in this game. All right, let's talk about the touchdown throw, baby. This was a work of beauty, both by the quarterback and the receiver. Top of your screen, you're going to notice Lil Jordan Humphrey, right? He's going to take 2 steps, jab inside, and burst upfield, and immediately off the snap, he beats the cornerback. And Jaxson Dart sees that. It's one-on-one coverage. He's there for the touchdown. Love how Jaxson Dart recognized it. Like, you see he looks his way, right? He's recognizing the matchup. He's seeing what works. He didn't look anywhere else. He didn't look right. He didn't look towards the middle. He looked right towards, look at his helmet, looking at Lil Jordan Humphrey. He's like, all right, it's going to you. It's going to you, right? We got man coverage, cover one. Just beat your guy. Just beat your guy. And is DeMar Hamlin back there, I believe, as well. Not a great safety. Boom. Touchdown. Beautiful. Beautiful catch right in the bucket. Right? Slow it down. Didn't have to stop for it. Didn't have to reach for it. It was right there in his chest. Right at the numbers. You couldn't have made it any easier of a catch for Lil Jordan Humphrey. And Humphrey did a good job getting open as well. So shout out to both Jaxson Dart, and LJ Humphrey. As he was hit, by the way, we can see it better here. Check out the pocket. Boom. Knocked to the ground. Touchdown. Doesn't matter. I really want to highlight this play because I feel like that this was like Patrick Mahomes or any other flashy quarterback. We would be seeing this on SportsCenter. But notice how this is a 3rd down and 12, by the way. The Giants aren't known for converting plays like these, and they usually do run some sort of screen just to try to get some extra yards for field position purposes. But Jaxson Dart is going to drop back and try to set up the screen. This is a great formation by the defensive front for a screen pass because you have 2 defenders lined up on the far edges where you can shut down a screen pass at any which direction. In this case, Dante Miller is lined up on the left side of the quarterback. And it's going to give these defenders a lot better of a chance to stop a screen pass, right? Because they're both right there at the same time. And this is... If this was Daniel Jones, I'm sorry. This is not open. He's throwing this bitch to the ground. Look at Jaxson Dart just floating this ball over for Dante Miller. Both of the defenders couldn't grab onto it. I just love how it just hung out there perfectly for Dante Miller and just let your guy work. Let your guy work. This is part of being a really good quarterback is you don't have to do it all yourself, right? You don't have to do it all yourself. Let your guys work for you, man. Let your guys go out there and show what they can do. Dante Miller converting a 3rd down and 12 to a 1st down, moving the chains. And it's all because Jaxson Dart didn't decide to throw it to the ground, even with 2 defenders in his face. You can see it better here from the box view, right? That should have been wrapped up. Dante Miller, 1st down. Talk about making something out of nothing. You can see the Bills have this all wrapped up. Looks like they're lining up with some sort of cover 3 here. And everything's wrapped up. Nobody is open. Jaxson Dart, the pocket collapses. He just runs it. Good angles on his runs to help him create more yards after the catch. Again, quarterback coaches, head coaches, Brian Daboll, I'm sure he's not going to like him putting his body out like that. But helps move the chains and make something out of nothing, man. He's really elusive. He really is. Look at this. Look how he evades the sack in the beginning here. Look at this. He like hop steps backwards, kind of trips as he stumbles forward, and runs straight down to get a 1st down. That's beautiful. That's great. I love that. He did that twice already. Just a hop step back. I don't know if that's going to be his thing moving forward. I don't see much quarterbacks doing that. This ball is going to be incomplete, but look at the top of your screen to Dalen Combre, undrafted free agent wide receiver. He doesn't get open, but look how perfectly this ball is placed. I mean, this is right there for him. Combre didn't have to slow down, didn't have to reach. It wasn't out of the reach. It was right there for his reach. He just couldn't beat his man. But that's just really good ball placement on the deep throw by Jaxson Dart. And look at the throw. It was just effortless. I'm going to slow it down for you guys. Just watch Jaxson Dart. He eyed him down. He wanted that matchup. I wish he could have turned his head and looked towards Humphrey. Wish he could have pump faked that one and went to Humphrey because he had a step on him. But look at this ball. It's right there. It should have been intercepted. And that's how perfectly on the nose it was. It was so effortless how he threw this ball too. He doesn't have a cannon. He doesn't have a Josh Allen arm, but he can sling it, man, with accuracy down the field too. Beautiful. Love the play design here. You're gonna see another RPO here, but this time they're gonna add a little wrinkle where they're gonna have Dante Miller, the running back, shoot from the left side to the right side on a motion, and it's going to force these linebackers to shift their gaps because now this linebacker originally was responsible for the running back. Now this linebacker is going to be responsible for the running back, so they have to shift their assignments. Safety comes down. It's going to be a blitz, wide open, sets up the slant, so nobody's in the vicinity. It's even better that they blitzed, because now there's no safety in the way as well to help make the tackle. There's no linebacker, no safety up top, just one-on-one. And listen, a slant on a one-on-one, if it's not like a super lockdown press corner, is like 9 times out of 10 going to work. This is just a perfect execution on a perfect play versus perfect coverage. Well, perfect matchup. This is one of the plays he wants back. And point your attention to Jaxson Dart when he makes his throw. First, I'll show you the actual play of what happens. Double out routes, one higher than the other, right? and it's incomplete. I think they call it a bench concept. Just incomplete here. And it sails way over the head of the tall 6'4" Lil Jordan Humphrey. Not even close, even though he was open. And check this out. This is a really bad missed opportunity here because this is a soft zone. You could see this corner just commits to the inside like crazy. Not sure if he's expecting Humphrey to cut upfield as if he's faking that he's going out. But he committed fully to the inside. As this play goes on, he breaks. He has to break as well. He trips up. This ball, if it was accurately thrown, could have been caught, and he would have turned upfield, and this safety would have had to make the play. Look at this. This is wide open. If he caught this in stride, he's out of there. He would have been out of there. But missed opportunity here. Point your attention to Jaxson Dart and his footwork. Look how high his foot got, right? Off balance. When you bring that back leg that high up, it in turn completely shifts your balance. Look, he's not going straight up. He's slanted all the way to the side. That's something that he really needs to work on. It looks a little better. I'm not seeing it as prevalent. I'm sure that he's working on cleaning that up because there's just no way that's like proper quarterback play. And it's something that he really had a habit of doing in college, and I don't like it. That foot pointing all the way up as he makes that throw, as he follows through. It's gonna mess with his accuracy. It for sure is, and it did there. This was an incomplete pass to Montreal, Washington, but it's a beautiful dart. No pun intended there. Actually, pun intended. Beautiful dart there on some sort of spot route to the sticks, trying to get this first down. I believe this was on a third down as well. If I'm not mistaken, we could move it back a little bit. Hold on. It was 3rd down and 7. Got to the sticks. He was open. He fits the ball right in there. Incomplete, but that's a great throw by Dart. You can see the velocity. You can see the power that he has. You can see that he also has a baseball background as well. Look how he fires his ball in there. Boom. Like a baseball player. Love it. But you got to make that catch, Montreal. You got to make that catch. Everyone loves the touchdown throw. This was probably my favorite throw. We're looking at about like a cover 4 situation. Right? You got Montreal, Washington on a dig route. You got a double dig here. I'm not sure if this is a choice route or something, but you got double ins. I don't know if this is really like viable like as an actual play, but it seems like what they ran here. But it works perfectly here, and this is just a really good anticipation throw, right? He throws this ball before he crosses the back of the linebacker. He throws his ball right now. He's not even past the linebacker yet. This is an anticipation throw, and it's beautiful for the first down. Let's see what down it was. 2nd and 15, and they convert a 2nd and 15. Right? Just good awareness. One by Montreal, Washington, knowing where he is, knowing where to get to. And good by Jaxson Dart as well. He steps up in the pocket again. Right? Evades the pressure, slides slightly to his right. Play action. Look at his eyes. Look at that. Oh man. I could watch that all day. Eyes locked on target even after he throws it. Look at that. Beautiful. What a throw. That's my favorite throw of the game. This is a really good cover 4 beater. You're going to have a bunch to the left, and they're going to run a sales concept to the left. Combre is going to clear out. You're going to have an intermediate route with it, which is that corner route, which is going to be wide open because you're forcing this flat defender to choose between the flat route or the corner route. So it's on him to really decide what he wants to do. It's a pick your poison sort of situation because you would think this safety is going to cover this corner route, so he probably just took the flat. Not the case at all. And good job by Jaxson Dart just firing in there. Look at that. Look at the ball comes out with such velocity. The ball gets there quick, right? The ball gets there quick, and look how effortlessly he throws his ball. It just, boom, smooth. He could have thrown it a little lower. Yeah, Montreal had to jump for that ball, but he had to kind of throw it that high because he had to throw that ball with some touch over the flat defender. That's a beautiful pass. Beautiful pass, beautiful read. Good catch for a first down. Now they run the same exact play in the next play. This is the same exact play but reversed. Okay? So you're going to see same thing. Bunch formation. Sales concept again. Let's run it into slow motion. I'm not sure what the objective here was because Montrell Washington was open again. You could have hit him again. He pump faked him and dumped down to Dante Miller, who got a good 5-6 yards. But I'm wondering why he just didn't hit Montrell here. He's just as open. This defender's here, but come on. This is like a defensive lineman to look like. It's like some sort of linebacker. Right? It's a linebacker. But he's not going to capture the Montrell Washington. He's not going to make a play on the ball either. He's open. Not sure why he held it in here. I don't know if they wanted to try something new. Target more players. Not sure. But again, they had him right where they wanted him. They were playing some sort of, soft zone again. And this was just easy for the taking, but he just decided to dump it off to the backside and just gain minimal yardage there. But still a good read by Jaxson Dart. I mean, even if he missed that play there, he still was able to progress the ball forward. Now, this is the last play by Jaxson Dart. This is probably the most critical I'm going to be on Jaxson Dart in this game, and it's the last play, so it doesn't really matter, right? But here he is. He's going to look at Montrell Washington. This is cover one, so it's man on man, and he wants the out route to the sticks, right? It's a little over the sticks, actually. He wants that out route. He throws it a little bit behind, just a tad bit behind. Incomplete. Montrell should have caught that, even though it was behind. Montrell Washington should have caught that. Drops it. Incomplete. This was on a third down again, so the Giants had to attempt a field goal. But check out the backside, right? You had a drag on the backside. You had a drive concept to the other side, right? Drive concept is when you're going to have a high-low towards the middle. So you're going to have an in route, usually by a tight end, and then you're going to have a shallow cross or a drag route about 2 or 3 yards. That's exactly what happened here. Good rub route concept where it got these linebackers. This is man coverage, all right? You wouldn't think this is man coverage, but it is. This is man coverage here. They're supposed to switch. This linebacker stays with the tight end, and the tight end Fedoni runs into the wide receiver's assignment here, and nothing. Beautiful, beautiful rub route play, and Jaxson Dart should have seen this. The pocket was collapsing, but when you're talking about man coverage, if you already identified that this is man coverage, and the linebacker has the tight end, if you already know that, you should be looking towards the backside because it's a rub route. Somebody's going to be open. Somebody's getting open here. Somebody getting open, and it's usually going to be the shallow cross. If he got the ball, this is a first down for sure. But you got to make that play still, Montrell. You got to. But Pascal was open off the rub route. Man coverage, drive concept. And I like that drive concept because it had the shallow receiver away from the middle. And it caused that in route to kind of intercede with that drag route. But that is it, guys. That is the breakdown for Jaxson Dart's first game in the preseason. I'll be excited to break down more once the actual full film comes out, but this is just a little taste about what we're going to see during the season, and I'm really excited for Jaxson Dart. I really am. I'm happy with his play. He was the best quarterback of all the rookies as far as quarterback rating goes, and he had a really good stat line. Like I said, 12 of 19, 154 yards, 3 of 24 on the ground, so love to see it. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Woo!